the best guy that I've ever interviewed in sports. The only guy, I had him on after he pitched his perfect game and gave him a hard time, and he handled it because of the Montreal lineup. How good a guy is that? He's David Cone, who had a special seat in the house on Sunday night for that 40th anniversary of SNL. David, welcome. How are you today, pal? Okay?
I'm doing good, dog. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. Now, how about that? Boy, oh, who's who? And you and David Wells with Joe Torre are sitting there on Sunday night there at the NBC studios. How good? How much fun was that there a couple days ago?
But, dog, it was really once in a lifetime. The show, the history of the show, 40 years. Lorne Michaels, what an amazing career he's had. He always remembered us. David Wells and Derek Jeter, who hosted one week about 12 years ago, and I were on the show, and I'll never forget it. It was a highlight of anything I've ever done, being a part of that show and being a part of the 40th anniversary show as well on Sunday night.
And you did a skit that actually made the cutting room floor here this past weekend, you and Wells, so that was good. With Jeter, which was December of 2001. So you actually did a skit way back. There it is. You can see it there. That actually made the show on Sunday night, the 40th anniversary, Dave. How excited were you about that?
Just thrilled, dog. I'm telling you, it was just thrilling to actually be included in the show with our highlight of the skit that we did. And a lot of people think, as far as athletes go, that Derek Jeter was the best athlete host in the history of the show, and that particular skit was one of the best skits by athletes. We dressed in drag, we played baseball groupies, and Derek Jeter was also in drag, and he played a baseball wife, and it was just a hilarious skit that was actually written by Tina Fey, and she's just an unbelievable talent. To be able to meet her and talk to her and actually act in one of her skits clearly was a highlight of my life.
Excellent job, David. Let's switch now to retired uniform numbers. The Yankees retire everybody. Why not you? I mean, enough of these uniform numbers. But if they're going to retire Pettit and Posada and give Willie a day, Willie Randolph, and, why not? Here comes Mike Mussina will retire everybody. How about number 36 at Yankee Stadium? How about that, David?
I don't know. I tended to wear out my welcome wherever I was, so I never stayed around long enough to kind of accumulate the numbers needed for that. But I do believe Bernie Williams is very deserving. Lifetime Yankee. Jorge Posada as well. Two lifetime Yankees that are right at the top of their class. And, of course, Willie Randolph. I'm a huge fan of Willie Randolph. I think it's long overdue that Willie, one of the former captains of the Yankees, finally gets his due as well.
All right, I differ. I want Hall of Famers only to be honored at those ballparks, but I understand from a player perspective. All right, how about let's do A-Rod for a second. You expect anything out of A-Rod here in spring training? First month of the season, the Yankees will give him a shot. We all know what the money scenario is, so he's going to get an opportunity. You think A-Rod can basically miss 2 years with a bad hip at 40 years of age and make a contribution? What's your take on that?
Obviously that's the question of the hour is what A-Rod's got left. I think the fact that they can DH him and he doesn't have to play in the field and you don't have to worry about the mobility and the range of playing third base. He can just swing the bat. I think you have to try to see what you can get out of him. Dog, he's always been, regardless of what's happened off the field and all the steroids, he's always been a student of the game. He's always been a cage rat. I think he can probably, if he stays healthy, hit 15 to 20 home runs this year.
Yeah, I can see that if he stays healthy. The Mets, let's go across the borough and across the Floridian state, Port St. Lucie, and talk about that Met pitching staff, David. Obviously, you were part of a highfalutin staff there in the 87, 86. We weren't on the 86 team, but 87, 88 with the Mets and the whole bit with the great pitchers they had. How about this Mets staff? They chat a lot. They got a lot of potential. Harvey returning. What's your take on the Mets staff here in 2015?
Well, there is reason to be excited for Mets fans. The Mets organization should be very happy about getting Matt Harvey back. And certainly Jacob deGrom just made a huge leap last year in terms of his power style. I love the way he goes about it. I think Matt Harvey was one of the best young pitchers I've ever seen break into the game in terms of polish. He had 4 pitches, all above average. He threw the ball in the upper 90s. He was a real gamer on the mound. A huge loss when he got injured, but the fact that he's coming back, that's one of the best young pitchers in the game. You put him right next to Fernandez in Miami, Jose Fernandez, in terms of talent. So, yes, the Mets should be excited about that pitching.
Yeah, they could be very good. Dave, you pitched a lot of big games in your career. Game 3 in Atlanta in 96, Game 5 in Seattle, of course, in 95, games for Toronto when they won a World Series. I believe you pitched Game 6 in Dodger Stadium in '88 when the Mets got even in that best of 7 after you got yourself in trouble with that Daily News story earlier in that series. What's one of your fondest games? You pitched, obviously, the perfect game. You had the no-hitter off the aneurysm against the A's. Well, what's one of David Cohn's fondest memories as far as the pitcher is concerned?
Well, it's not so much about the performance. I think the magnitude of the moment, but I think Game 3 in Atlanta in the '96 World Series when we were down 0-2. We lost the first 2 games at home at Yankee Stadium, and it looked like we were going to get blown out by probably a better Atlanta team at that point in '96. And to be able to get us back in the series, Dog, it wasn't a great game. I pitched 6 innings. I kind of struggled, but I only gave up 1 run and gave us the chance to get back in that series. And the fact that we ended up coming back and winning that series, I think, makes that game probably the fondest memory that I have.
How about getting the Piazza out in 2000 when you came in for Nagel, when Joe went to you to get that one big out in that World Series against the Mets, David, near the end of your career? How about that for a sec?
That was a huge, huge moment. I had an awful year that year. I really fell on my face at the end of my career with the Yankees. I think I was 4-14 on a 1-loss record that year. And the fact that Joe Torre included me in the postseason roster and actually put me in that game, I think a lot of people doubted, and I kind of wondered myself. But it was a huge moment for me to pitch in that World Series against my former team, the Mets, because otherwise I don't make an appearance in that series, and it would have been pretty hard to sit that one out.
And you got, I think it was Piazza you got out, right, David? Didn't you get Piazza out in that at bat, not big at bat?
Yes, I did. Joe Torre took Denny Nagel, the starting pitcher, out with 1 out to go in the 5th inning. He would have qualified for a World Series win. There was nobody on base, but Mike Piazza had really good swings off of Nagel, including a home run, and Torre just didn't feel comfortable letting Denny Nagel face Piazza one more time. So I got the call. Denny Nagel wasn't too happy. I think he tore up the clubhouse after he was taken out of that game. But I remember Joe Torre had a lot of faith in me, and that's something I'll always be thankful for from Joe Torre, that he actually gave me a chance to pitch in that game.
Good job, David. Well done. Keep in touch. We'll get you on again. Appreciate it here today, pal.
Thanks a lot, Mad Dog.